The Rico case against Young Thug and his YSL crew might be the biggest investigation in the history of the rap game. Even though it's not heading to trial until next year, some massive updates have dropped about the case, and today, we're breaking them all down. Let's get right into it. The biggest update in the case against YSL is that Gunna took a plea deal and walked out of jail. A lot of people thought YSL would start falling apart since they're all facing some serious time, but fans were shocked when Gunna announced his deal. He took a deal called an Alfred plea, which basically means Gunna thinks the state has enough evidence to convict him, but he's not admitting that he's actually guilty of the crime. He still got hit with the 5-year sentence, but was credited with 1 year of time served, and the rest of the sentence will be suspended. When the news broke about the deal, Gunna put out a statement and said he wasn't turning on the crew and working with the cops. He said, "I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case." Gunna tried to tell everyone he wasn't snitching, but then a video came out showing Gunna telling the prosecutor that YSL is a gang. During the hearing, the prosecutor asked him a bunch of questions about YSL, and Gunna said,
"YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang."
Yes, ma'am.
They also asked him,
"You were present when law enforcement officers stopped the vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocodone, methamphetamines, and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you."
Yes, ma'am.
Fans and other artists started calling Gunna a rat as soon as the video leaked. 6ix9ine, Freddie Gibbs, Boosie, and other rappers all clowned him for snitching. But Gunna's lawyer, Steven Sadow, says his deal doesn't have anything to do with Thug or anyone else in the case. DJ Academics posted screenshots of his DMs with Sadow, where he says what Gunna admitted to in the leaked video can't be used as evidence against anyone else. Academics also asked him if Gunna could be subpoenaed and called to testify, and Sadow said he could be, but that Gunna would plead the fifth and not help the prosecution out. Sadow also hopped on IG to clear the situation up. He wrote, "Gunna did not snitch to get out of jail. He has said nothing and is not cooperating. So please stop spreading lies." A criminal lawyer on YouTube named Bruce Rivers broke the whole situation down, and he says that Gunna's statements actually could be used against other defendants in the case. He didn't say Gunna's snitching, but according to him, it's definitely a possibility. Plus, Gunna won't be able to plead the fifth since he already took a deal. We won't know for sure until right before the trial if Gunna's cooperating though, and at this point, nobody but Gunna and his team really knows what's going on behind the scenes. According to Whack 100, Thug and his team had no idea Gunna was taking a deal. YSL is an independent label, and it's under another company called 300 Electra Entertainment. There's no evidence to back this theory up, but Whack says he's on some real shit, and that Thug's team believes 300 Electra knew about Gunna's deal, and that they're trying to breach Gunna's contract with Thug so he can sign directly to Electra. Even Thug's sister defending Gunna over the snitching accusations.
Nothing that's going on is not hitting my brother. So can y'all please stop that? Can y'all please stop? If y'all love Gunna, then y'all give him support.
But that hasn't stopped people from running with the story. Unfortunately, this case is so big that the snitching rumors could end up following Gunna for the rest of his career. He's already seeing backlash for being involved with the case. Last week, he was supposed to hand out 1,000 Walmart gift cards to families in Atlanta, but Walmart canceled the event over security concerns. Gunna ain't the only dude from YSL who's taking deals though. Last week, the news broke that YSL's co-founder, Walter Murphy, pleaded guilty to racketeering and got hit with a 10-year sentence that he'll be serving on probation. It's not clear if Murphy flipped or if the prosecution will use him as a witness, but it don't look like a good sign for Thug if YSL OGs are copping deals. Lil Duke was originally facing 5 gun and drug charges in the case, but he got all of them dropped by pleading guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to violate the RICO Act. In exchange for pleading guilty, he got 2 years of his sentence communed, and now he'll spend the rest on probation in California. Slime Life Shotty took a deal too and entered an Alfred plea like Gunna. He was sentenced to 10 years for conspiracy to violate the RICO Act, but he says he didn't have to snitch to get out. According to him, all he had to do was admit YSL was a gang, but that won't affect anyone else because Walter Murphy already said that it was. According to Thug's lawyer Brian Steele, the state is using all the plea deals just to get to Thug. Last week, he did an interview with 11 Alive and said that the cops arrest someone, then immediately start pressing them on what they know about Thug. He said,
"That's the problem with this case. It's coming from the word of people who are getting deals to say, yeah, he was there, or I saw him around, or he gave the order, or I heard from someone else he gave the order." That's what this case is about.
Thug got more bad news after the cops in Atlanta hit him with new charges for street racing, reckless driving, and speeding. Thug was allegedly caught driving 120 miles per hour on Interstate 85, and now he'll have to fight those charges on top of everything else. Brian still says the new charges are proof that the system is being abused just to lock Thug up. He said, as of 2 weeks ago, that case was being resolved with a seatbelt violation. Today, now it's indicted in the Fulton County Superior Court. He's being wronged by our system. Gunna and Slime Life Shotty might think their statements won't hurt Thug or the other dudes in the case, but that's probably not how it's going to work out. One of the biggest keys to the investigation is to prove that YSL isn't just a label, but a criminal gang with Thug calling the shots. Gunna and the other dudes taking plea deals was bad enough, but then the news broke that Thug's own brother, Unfunk, had taken a deal too. He pleaded guilty to violating the RICO Act and theft by reception of stolen property and got hit with 10 years of probation. What's wild about the situation is that Thug actually saved Unfunk from serving life in prison. Unfunk was locked up on a murder charge back in 2007, but after Thug blew up, he hired Brian Still to be Unfunk's lawyer. 2 years later, Unfunk was back out on the street. Flipping on your own brother who saved you before is wild, but Unfunk says he didn't snitch. After he got out of jail, he hopped on IG and wrote, "Damn, people really think I told on my own brother," shaking my head. "Show me my paperwork, I told on anybody, LOL. But like Bruce Rivers says, we won't really know who talked until the trial starts. So everyone else admitting they knew YSL as a gang definitely won't help Thug's case. It hasn't been all bad news for Thug though, and recently, his legal team was able to get a huge piece of evidence thrown out of the trial. Back in 2015, the cops raided his home and took phones and a computer. The prosecution planned on using the evidence against him in the RICO trial, but his lawyer managed to get it all tossed out because the original raid was ruled unconstitutional.
A judge making the ruling that cell phones and other evidence collected from the rapper's home during a raid could not be used as evidence in his upcoming trial next month.
It's not clear what evidence was on the devices, but it could be a huge win for Thug. When the prosecutors were arguing to keep Thug from getting bond, they brought up an alleged text from 2015 that Thug sent to other YSL members. The text allegedly said, "Anybody goes into a courtroom and tells the God honest truth, they'll be f***ing killed." It wasn't a good look for Thug, but if the text was on the phone that was seized in 2015, then anything on it won't be admissible in court. The YSL trial is set to start in January 2023, but there's a lot of details that still have to be worked out before it begins. The prosecutors recently requested to ban all video cameras from the courtroom. They plan on calling around 300 witnesses to testify, and according to them, a lot of their witnesses are afraid for themselves and their families. One witness has already been placed in protective custody after their name leaked online. According to the prosecution, YSL affiliates are already threatening potential witnesses, and it could have a major effect on the case. Estimates say the trial will last anywhere from 6 to 9 months, and there's no telling what'll go down after it starts. Even the pre-trial hearings have been wild. On December 15th, Thug had a hearing about the evidence from the 2015 raid. It was delayed for a few hours because of technical issues, and when they finally got going, somebody zoomed bombed the hearing with a video of a naked dude and the words "Free Young Thug" on the screen. Nobody knows how the trial will play out, but Thug and everyone else without a deal are facing some serious charges. The state hit YSL with a 56-page indictment that accuses the crew of murder, attempted murder, drug dealing, and way more. One of the most controversial parts of the trial is the fact that the prosecutors plan on using Thug's lyrics against him. They're trying to prove that he's guilty by using lines from tracks like Slatty, where Thug said, "I killed his man in front of his mama. Like little bruh, sister, and his cousin. I shoot out, kill him, not leaving a trace." Fans, other rappers, and Thug's legal team also using his lyrics in court goes against his freedom of speech. But it looks like the courts are going to allow the prosecution to use them anyway. After Walter Murphy, Gunna, and the other dudes took plea deals, some fans thought Thug might be working on his own deal. But according to a journalist in Atlanta named George Cheedy, the district attorney has only offered him deals that would give Thug life in prison. He says Thug is the one they really want to bring down, and everyone else in the case is optional. The situation ain't looking good for Thug right now, but nobody knows what'll happen after the trial actually starts. It's been clear from the jump that he's the main target in the case, and it looks like the state will do anything to lock him up. He's got a good legal team fighting to beat the case, and new updates can come out any day that put the odds in his favor. A lot has happened, and the trial hasn't even started yet, but you never know when new details will drop, so tap in for updates as the story develops.